All right, so today I'm going to rank the best art of seduction tactics in the book of The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. We're going to go from what I think to be the best, which is S tier strategies, to what I think which are meh, which is D tier strategy. Okay. Now, some of these strategies only work under certain conditions, and the ones that are the most limiting will be the ones that are going to get the lower ratings. But the ones that can be used in multiple situations are the ones we're going to label S tier, the ones that work no matter the circumstance. Okay. So let's begin this. And yeah, this is actually going to be fun because if you guys enjoy this video, I'm going to do more of these. Okay. So the best strategy, we're going to start with the best strategy because this one will save you time and will save you effort. And it's not using words to sow confusion. It's not mixing pleasure and pain. It's not stirring up the taboo. It's choosing the right victim. In fact, that's actually the first one in the book. Now, why you got to choose the right victim? Well, let's first read what it means to choose the right victim. I think I'm going to give you guys my take on it. But what I believe is that choosing the right victim, it's truly about choosing your battles. Choosing your battles carefully is the ultimate show of wisdom. Not choosing certain battles is a sign of wisdom, okay? So it goes like this. Everything depends on the target of your seduction. Literally everything. Everything depends on the target of your seduction. It's not about the medicine. It's about the patient, right? The medicine doesn't change. The patient doesn't, right? So the strategies don't change. The people do. So you got to make sure you choose someone that's specific. Study your prayer thoroughly and choose only those who will prove susceptible to your charms. The right victim are those on whom you can fill a void, who see you as something exotic. They are often isolated and unhappy, or can easily be made so. For the completely contented person, it is almost impossible to seduce. The perfect victim has a quality that inspires strong emotions in you, making you seductive maneuvers seem more natural and dynamic. The perfect victim allows for the perfect chase. In other words, this person, when they see you, they react to you. This person, when you pull away, they come towards you. This person, you fascinate them. You fulfill something inside of them. They have the time to love you. They have enough unhappiness to need someone in their lives. The problem is that people choose those who they're going to chase based on insecurities, not based on rationality. Choose those who like you. Choose those who, when you say hi, react to you. Choose those who, when you text, they respond. Choose those who, when you ask to hang out with you, they say yes. Choose those who pose no resistance. If you do that, everything else will be easier. The problem is that your ego might think it's better than it really is. Your ego might say, but they're not my type. Your ego might say, oh, but they're boring. Listen up, man. Sometimes the best people to go towards are those who want us. And if you keep being attracted to those who don't want you, attracted to those who want you, who don't want you, that a lot of the times that's really fragile ego. You only want those who don't want you back. Pick the right victim. Pick people who make it easier for you. It's not a sign of insecurity. It's actually a sign of wisdom. All right. So the next one. Now, we have perfect illusions, stirring up the taboo, beware of the after effects. Let's talk about some of the strategies that are good but not necessary. I'm gonna go with keep them in suspense. Now, let's first read what keep them in suspense is so that we can explain it with a little bit more detail, right? Because this is actually a really, really interesting one. It goes like this. The moment people feel like they know what to expect from you, your spell on them is broken. More, you have ceded them power. The only way to lead the seduced along and keep the upper hand is to create suspense, a calculated surprise. Doing something they do not expect from you will give you a delightful sense of spontaneity. They will not be able to foresee what comes next. You are always one step ahead and in control. Give the victim a thrill with a sudden change of direction. This is pretty much about being romantic, This is pretty much about being spontaneous. This is pretty much about putting thought into everything and catering an experience to the person. I think this is really important. But if a person doesn't like you, this keeps the interest. This doesn't make someone like you. This intensifies it. It doesn't go from 0 to 1. You get what I mean? It doesn't spark the love. So because of that, I will put this at B tier because I may move these around, but I like strategies that make them like you and keep them. This strategy doesn't work if they don't like you, to be honest with you. Actually, it could. It could because when you surprise someone, you allow them to feel new emotions, and a surprise can potentially make somebody feel like they like you accidentally. All right. So the next one is now we have the perfect illusion, paying attention to detail, spiritual lures, give them space to fall. All right. Um, I'm gonna give. I'm gonna go. It's hard to pick, but we have entering the spirit, prove yourself, created temptation. Let's go with created temptation. Once again, this is not necessary for somebody to like you. You know, it's very hard to find any D tier strategies, to be honest with you. But it's not necessary to keep somebody to like you. But what it does is that it it's perfect for short term relationships. So because of the shortness aspect, I'm gonna stay with B tier. And what this means is putting up barriers. You know, even though you could see him, you say, "Baby, I can't see you because I got work," or when I wanted to sneak to my girl's house and her parents were there. You know, like you sneak in, it's a temptation. You could get in trouble. um or even like some people like banging other people's girls or other people's guys, like cooking with Kaya, cooking with Kaya, I'm fucking yo man, like that type of shit, right? um she becomes a temptation, right? Or even people on the screen become a temptation. In fact, that's why it's always good to make people wait, because the waiting part is a temptation. But you got to make sure that you tempt them the right way, right? You can't just tempt people with anything. You have to know what they want. This is why it's very important to understand every person's individual psychology, right? So, for example, confused to isolate, prove yourself, effective regression, physical lure, give them the space to fall, mix pleasure with pain. I'm trying to look for that strategy right here. Oh, here it is. So it goes like this: lure the target deep into your seduction by creating the proper temptation, a glimpse of the pleasures to come. As a serpent tempted Eve with the promise of forbidden knowledge, you must awaken a desire in your target that cannot be controlled. Find that weakness of theirs, that fantasy that has yet to be realized, and hint that you can lead them towards it. The key is to keep it vague. Stimulate curiosity stronger than the doubts and anxieties that go with it, and they will follow. This is actually perfect for sales and perfect for scamming people. I'll be honest with you. Because that's what it does, right? People are suspicious of you. They're like, "Oh my god, you might scam me." But then your promises are so insane that the excitement for the gain is so much stronger than the anxiety of getting ripped off, right? But when it comes to seduction, how viable that is, it truly does depend on the person's interests. So because of that, we could keep it at B tier. I think I'm gonna keep that at B tier because it might be better that way. Okay. All right. So the next one, um, let's go for another S tier. There's a lot of S tier, and this one, to me, I'm gonna go with A tier. This one, um, A tier because it doesn't always work, all right? But nothing is more this. If you pay attention to detail and you know them over time, like let's just say you work with someone and you work with them for months, or even go to school and you go to school for them for months, and you guys hang out all the time, you mirroring people is extremely flattering. It's what makes people fall in love with their psychologists, because you mirror them. Let's you read what it says about mirroring people. La 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 into the spirit. Okay. Most people are locked in their own world, making them stubborn and hard to persuade. The way to lure them out of their shell and set up your seduction is to enter their spirit. Play by their rule. Enjoy what they enjoy. Adapt yourself to their mood. And in doing so, you will stroke their deep rooted narcissism and lower their defenses. Indulge your target every mood and whim, giving them nothing to react against, right? And so what this does is that it flatters people. They start to fall in love with you accidentally. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the only issue I have with this strategy is that some guys, some people are not attractive enough to the point that you can pay attention to as much detail as you want. I am not gonna like you. But this also is why some ugly motherfuckers get with some banging ass women because they just paid attention to detail. Like they felt like the guy understood them. So for me, because of how much of a home run you can hit with this, but also how deep in the friend zone you could get, we're gonna move this to B tier, people. Nah, fuck this. I'll be honest with you. My issue with this one is that I love the strategy, but it could legit land you in the friend zone. It's a strategy to make people like you or to appreciate you more, but it may not be like seduction, like falling in love. So that's why I put this in S tier. Okay. All right. So what do we have here? The next one. Oh boy. Mixed pleasure and pain. Okay. Use words to sow confusion. This is S tier right here, people. People have a need to believe. And if you know what they want to hear and you tell them that, you can legit do the opposite and they'll ignore your actions and focus on your words. When you force people to ignore your actions and focus on your words, people, because of the cognitive dissonance, because of the effort that takes, they fall in love with you because they're investing so much energy in trying to like you, trying to believe your words. Um, People have a need to believe. Like if a guy, for example, and let me give you guys an example. It was actually in the book where this guy was secretly gay, and he met this guy that looked like a girl. But the guy who was a girl told him he was a girl. And he was in so much denial of his gayness that he believed the guy was a girl, even though he deep down knew he was a guy. Right? People's need to believe is so insane that even though the evidence of you not being that is right in front of them, because they want to believe it so badly, they'll believe it. And a lot of the times, if you just tell them what they want to hear, if they're in a very low moment in life and you tell them what they want to hear, they'll believe you and they'll fall in love with you, right? Let's see what this says. Let's actually read this because it's actually really. It goes like this. It is hard to make people listen. They are consumed with their own thoughts and desires and have little time with you for you. The trick is making them listen is to say what they want to hear, to fill their ears with whatever is pleasant to them. This is the essence of seductive language. And this is what politicians use, right? Where they know the words that people want to use. They know the feeling that people have, the anger, the resentment. And so they use their own vernacular. Again, you guys, I say this because it's for all my brothers out there, but an example is like the race grifters. They know that slavery is something that black people, I'm not going to say like they're still, that sounds racist. Sorry. Hey, get out of here. Trump got elected. Trump got elected. But they still have that trauma. So if you have a politician, a grifter, who says, "Hey, the white man is bringing you down. That's why you're not successful," and all the people are like, "Yeah, that does make sense. It's not because, it's because of the white man, right?" And they secretly don't. Some of them, not all of them. I'm gonna say not all of them. Some of them don't want to take responsibility for their lives, and so they believe the race grifters because it makes them feel like, oh, they've been wrong. People like to feel like victims a lot of times, so politicians use that. Hitler used that, right? Like Trump even uses that. To be honest with you, every politician uses it. It's crazy. If you can create the illusion that through you they can live. Okay, that was the trick is making them listen is to say what they want to hear. This is the essence of seductive language. Inflame people's emotions with loaded phrases. White power, you know, healthcare organizations, right? Like legit, if you could say that, if people legit felt no sympathy for a seat of a man dying because somebody's assassinating him, right? I understand why they have no sympathy, but it's kind of insane to even think about that, right? Um, Flatter them, comfort their insecurities, envelop them in sweet words and promises, and not only will they listen to you, they'll lose their will to resist. In fact, fuck this. Did I put it S tier? Yeah, I thought I put it on B tier. This is S tier level. In fact, I put it at S tier because this strategy. In fact, choose the right victim. It's kind of insane actually. Think about this, right? Right? Choose the right victim and use the demonic power of words. Go hand in hand because it kind of makes sense. You choose the right victim, and then because you chose them, you know them specifically, then you specifically say certain words and phrases, and you could literally make people fall in love with you. Politicians could use this to win elections by a landslide. Crazy, man. All right, so let's stop this here. We're gonna finish this later. If you guys enjoy this type of content, I know I usually don't post this on this channel. Don't forget we're having 50% off all of our courses using the coupon code BLACK. And if you guys want to work with me one-on-one, go to mindfulattraction.org. Take care.